Good evening. Welcome to Tuesday's Midlands Today from the BBC. Tonight, our community is hurting. This doesn't bode well for the future.
The words of one member of Birmingham's black community following a not guilty verdict in the trial of an Asian man accused of killing a young black man in a race riot in the city. This was the fourth trial where men were either cleared or later had their convictions quashed.
Isiah Young-Sam was an innocent victim of the Lozells riots in 2005. Today, his mother left court in tears. Our special correspondent Peter Wilson has been investigating.
It was a night of terror on the streets, October 2005, and people were being attacked and beaten merely for the colour of their skin. A minority of black and Asian people venting their long-suppressed anger and grievances. This young man died, 23-year-old Isiah Young-Sam, murdered on the streets of Lozells, Birmingham. That night, Isiah Young-Sam, his brother and a friend were innocents in all of this. They were trying to escape the violence by using side roads to try and get home. But suddenly a number of cars pulled up. A group of Asian men spilled out. They were wearing masks and carrying baseball bats and knives. The black men were all racially abused. There was a scuffle, and then Isiah Young-Sam fell to the ground. He'd been fatally stabbed in the heart. Mohammed Shahzad of Holly Road, Handsworth, was today cleared of murder. He'd gone to Pakistan shortly after the riots. 3 times, 3 Asian men had appeared in court. First found guilty, then a retrial, finally acquitted. It was alleged that Mr. Shahzad had admitted being the man with a knife, something he strenuously denied. The jury agreed, finding him not guilty of all the charges.
It's a disappointing result for us all, particularly the family, given this is the 4th trial, running into some 6 weeks. Very complex trial, very complex investigation. We note and acknowledge the result of the court, but clearly our thoughts are firmly with the family, given the tragic loss of Isiah.
6 years on from the looting of his shop, what does Asif Khan think of how Lozells has changed?
We still get odd people, messing about, and other than that, the community are trying to get on with each other and live their lives as normal as possible.
The not guilty verdict leaves a bitter taste for Birmingham's black community.
It's another injustice from our community's perspective. There's been a number of young African Caribbean lads who was arrested and convicted for various types of offences around the civil disturbances that took place in Lozells for what I call lesser offences, and then you've got the most serious case of murder where there's been no convictions. So there seems to be some kind of double standards in the way the criminal justice system is working towards the African Caribbean community.
Lozells is actually seen as a success story. The police say that crime here has fallen, and for the most part, community relations are very good. But 6 years after Isiah Young-Sam was killed, the question being asked tonight is why is his killer not behind bars? Peter Wilson, BBC Midlands Today, Lozells, Birmingham.
Well, Peter's in our newsroom now. Peter, an agonising 6 years for the family. What have they had to say about today's verdict?
Well, it was far too distressing for them to say anything at all. I did approach Isiah's mother while she was waiting for the verdict to give her my commiserations for the fact that she was going through this for a 4th time, and an incredible ordeal for this family who, throughout the time, have conducted themselves with quiet dignity. But the family do not want to comment at this stage.
So, Peter, what happens now then? Is that it? Will the killer or killers of Isiah Young-Sam ever be brought to justice?
Well, the police have told me that they are going to discuss what options may be open to them with the Crown Prosecution Service and with the family. But millions of pounds have been spent both on the police investigation and these court cases. And really, I can't see anybody else being charged with Isiah Young-Sam's murder.
OK, Peter, thanks very much for that.
Coming up later in the